Have you ever lived with someone you barely knew? Someone who kept to themselves, never made much noise, but whose presence you could feel even when you could not see them. That was how it felt living with my last roommate. If I had known what was hiding in that apartment, I would have never stepped through the door. The place was small, just a 2-bedroom apartment off campus. Rent was cheap, too cheap for the area. My new roommate, Mark, was already living there when I moved in. He was quiet, polite, always kept his door shut. Honestly, I thought I had lucked out. For the first week, everything seemed normal. I worked late shifts, came home, and usually found Mark's door closed. Sometimes I heard him moving around at night, pacing or shifting furniture, but I figured he was just restless. Then I noticed strange things. The kitchen light would be on when I woke up, even though I knew I had turned it off. Plates would be stacked in odd patterns on the counter. Every morning, there was an extra cup in the sink, as if someone else had been drinking water during the night. One night I stayed up late, studying in the living room. Around 2 in the morning, I heard the sound of Mark's door creaking open. I expected him to walk out, but no one came. The door just hung there, slightly open, the darkness inside swallowing the light from the hall. "Mark," I called. No answer. I walked over and peeked inside. The room was completely empty. No bed, no clothes, no furniture at all, just bare walls and dusty floors. I froze. I had heard him moving in there every night. The sound of footsteps echoed suddenly behind me, slow, heavy, coming from the kitchen. My skin prickled as I realized Mark could not have been in his room. I turned, whispering, "Hello?" The kitchen light flicked on by itself. The sink dripped, a steady tap into the silence. In the reflection of the window above the sink, I swore I saw someone standing in the corner of the living room, behind me. When I spun around, nothing was there. From that night on, the noises grew louder, scratching in the walls, whispering just out of reach. Sometimes I woke up to the feeling of someone sitting on the edge of my bed. I tried confronting Mark. One evening, I knocked on his door. No answer. I pushed it open and found the room empty again. But this time, there was something new. A trapdoor in the corner, leading down beneath the floorboards. A rank, sour smell seeped out. Against every instinct, I lifted the door and peered inside. A narrow set of wooden steps led down into darkness. I grabbed a flashlight and descended. The air grew damp and heavy. The walls were lined with old photographs, hundreds of them, nailed into the wood. Every picture was of different tenants, people who had lived here before me, and in every photo, there was the same figure lurking in the background, pale, tall, with eyes too wide and too dark. At the end of the hallway, I found a small room. A mattress lay on the floor, stained dark. Sitting there, hunched in the corner, was Mark, or at least, what looked like him. His skin was stretched thin, his head tilted at an unnatural angle. When he looked up, his jaw unhinged wider than it should have, and he whispered in a voice that was not his own. "You are home now." I stumbled back, the flashlight shaking in my hand. The walls around me seemed to pulse, as though the house itself was alive. The whispers grew louder, echoing from every direction. I bolted up the stairs, slammed the trapdoor shut, and ran out of the apartment. I did not stop until I was outside on the street, gasping for air. The next day I went back with the landlord. When we opened the apartment, the trapdoor was gone. No photographs, no mattress, just an ordinary, empty room. The landlord looked at me, confused. What trapdoor? That apartment has not had a second tenant in years. My blood ran cold. What about Mark, the guy who lives here? The landlord frowned. There is no Mark. You have been the only one on the lease. I moved out that same day, but here is the part I cannot explain. Last week, I woke up in my new place. The kitchen light was on. An extra cup was sitting in the sink, and when I looked at the photo on my fridge, there was something behind me in the background. A pale figure, watching, and I know he has already found me again.